What do you want?
Oh, you like the shirt?
No, yeah, the shirt. I mean, the shirt's fine, but like, why do you have that button?
I like it.
Well, yeah, but like, this is a Spider-Man review. Why does everything have to be about Watchmen for you?
I don't know. It gives me confidence. You know, it helps me do this review.
But if you're nothing without the button, then you shouldn't have it.
He's right. Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Storytelling Vlaire. I'm here to give you guys a storytelling review. Finally, right?
Yeah, boy. It's like a month late.
Better late than never, I always say. Anyway, so we're going to be doing a discussion of Spider-Man Homecoming. We're going to kind of break it down of our thoughts of the entire film. So, spoilers. I'm sure you've seen it already.
Uncle Ben dies at the end. Or just at the beginning. In the beginning he dies, sorry. It's like Up.
I like to think he died at the end. Okay, so characters. What'd you think of Vulture?
I mean, I really liked Vulture. If you had told me if you had told me that Vulture was going to be the villain of the first Spider-Man movie in the MCU,
right,
I would have preferred it if it tied into Falcon a little bit. Because as it stands, Falcon doesn't make any fucking sense. Falcon doesn't make sense.
He has the suit in Winter Soldier.
Like Winter Soldier, he was like, yeah, hold up, let me get my wings. What?
Yeah.
Where did those come from?
I never said I was a pilot.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool to have something to connect to that.
Yeah, and also now you have two winged guys, and but that's just an
Vulture's a lot cooler in my opinion.
Yo,
he's so awesome. So like cool. I love this suit and I love what he can do with it because like I completely agree with you. When I heard that Vulture was the first villain, I was just like psh, weak, just weak sauce. Yeah. But then you see the first tease of Vulture and you're just like, that's terrifying.
Holy shit, he's a jet man. He is a giant jet engine on his back. It's so cool. It's different from the comics and from everything but it fits. And it also one thing I liked about Vulture that I don't think I've seen done in anything is he's a scavenger. Yeah, he goes and
he's a literal vulture.
Yeah, and I think that was an interesting idea. Michael Keaton he was scary. Oh boy,
he was really scary.
Oh, boy.
Especially, spoiler alert, the plot twist.
Oh my god.
When he was Liz's dad. I didn't see that coming.
No.
Did not see that coming. One thing that I really enjoyed about Michael Keaton's Vulture was it actually kind of felt like a Sam Raimi villain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, what I didn't really appreciate is they were the characters, but they weren't the characters.
Yeah,
they weren't the villains.
The villains were just felt very shoehorned in just to kind of move the plot along.
2D cutouts of what they really are.
Yeah.
And the Sam Raimi films had a lot of layers to those characters, especially like Doc Ock. Yeah. And I feel like Vulture, this villain could have worked in that Sam Raimi universe.
And he actually, Spider-Man 4 was gonna be Vulture, and Kevin Feige had a hand in Spider-Man 4.
Yeah, and you probably saw where this was coming from.
Yeah, it makes sense why they would be doing that.
Yeah.
And I think it worked out really well. Vulture, he was scary, he was intimidating, he had heart, and I'm glad he didn't die. He didn't die.
I totally thought he was gonna die.
Me too.
Especially how I really appreciate that Peter was trying to save him too. Yep. That was awesome.
Yep.
But yeah, when he's just like, I'm trying to save you. You know what I mean? And then it's like, oh, he's dead. He's not gonna know
his own ironic.
Secret identity. No, it's
he's alive, but then he's in the prison in the after credit scene, and he doesn't rat out Peter because he saved him. He has. It's a relationship. It's kind of like the Flash in his Rogues.
Yeah.
Not as fucked up as them, but it's still there. It's kind of that relationship. Of kind of mutual respect.
Exactly. Yeah, and. What I think is really funny is a lot of people are debating if whether or not he's not telling Scorpion his name because he wants to kill Peter, or if it's because of respect. I think it's respect.
I think it's respect also because if they're gonna do a Sinister Six movie, they can make Vulture the main character.
Yeah.
He could be the one who's in there. Maybe they're all about trying to find out who Peter Parker, that he's trying to find out who Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
And Vulture's like, no, you're wrong. No, that's not Peter Parker.
No, you're off to tell. Yeah. It's just not helping at all.
Or he's just, he's trying to protect Peter.
Yeah.
He's still doing the heists and stuff. He's still trying to make bank.
Right.
But he doesn't want to hurt Peter.
Kind of like the Captain Cold.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so the next character, Tony Stark.
Yeah.
I was really surprised because after seeing the poster that a lot of people joke about, he really wasn't a big part of the movie. I mean, his presence was felt, but he wasn't controlling the movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't Iron Man 4, the return, or A New Spider-Man.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I totally agree. After seeing all the trailers with Actually, in the trailers, we saw pretty much everything he said.
Basically,
we saw everything. And I mean, we saw everything in the trailers to begin with, but I'm glad he was overhyped, and it was probably just to sell tickets for people who don't like
just
Spider-Man.
like, oh, Robert Downey Jr. is in here, and here's a Spider-Man movie where he's actually part of the Marvel Universe, which is, at the end of the day, that's what they should have been selling, because that's why we're hyped about it.
That's what it is, yeah. But I'm glad they didn't overuse him. I'm glad he wasn't in the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked that scene after he saves him from the water.
Right.
And they're talking, and then the suit opens. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not actually here." I thought that was such good. Like, it was a funny scene, but it was also just like that makes it gives Peter this kind of like, yeah, I am alone, but I'm being watched. I don't have the help from them, but I have the training wheels, but I don't have actually what the training wheels help me with.
Yeah.
Like, I have the embarrassment of training wheels without it's like training wheels are too short.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you look like you're an idiot. You look like you need help, but they're not actually helping.
The next character we wanted to do was Mary Jane, MJ, and Ned.
You mean May, MJ, and Ned?
And we also got Mary Jane, you know?
She's not Mary Jane. She's Michelle Jones.
But
her friends call her
she calls her MJ.
Her friends call her
but
MJ.
Why would they call her MJ if she's not MJ?
It's almost like it's not a good idea, and it's stupid.
Wait, so is it just a reference to the prior movies?
Yeah, I guess so. I wouldn't imagine anybody who would actually do that. That would be almost like insulting, and feels like a cop-out.
It's almost as if like someone got their hopes up when they heard MJ and thought, oh my god, she's actually a part of this movie. Wow. Huh. And then just to read an article on Reddit saying that she's not.
Yeah, it's almost like Zendaya was in all the marketing for this, and she's in like 10 minutes of screen time.
You can kind of, tell how we feel about that whole thing. Okay, so what did you think of Aunt May?
I liked Aunt May. At first I was a little worried about how young she was going to be.
Right.
Because Marissa Tomei is like 30. But the relationship with her and Peter was really well done. It felt like kind of like brother and sister, which I really enjoyed, because that was different.
Okay, so now Ned, the best friend.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised that they took a character from Miles Morales, Genki. Yeah. And gave him to Peter.
Yeah, they didn't take the character. They just basically took
it was just basically Genki.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I get it because they're trying to stay away from the Sam Raimi movies where both Peter and Harry were best friends. Yeah. Now I love Ned. Ned was actually his friendship with Peter was wonderful.
Yeah, and Ned had
really believed it.
Ned had some of the best lines in the movie too.
Really, yeah.
Some of the funniest moments.
He wasn't annoying at all. I really enjoyed him, and kind of like what you said earlier. I was afraid that he was going to be annoying, that he was just going to be just spouting all these stupid jokes, but he wasn't. Yeah. He was pretty tame.
Because we have Ned, I wish that we had Mary Jane. Because right now we have all these new characters, and it doesn't feel like any of those relationships actually matter.
Yeah. The established Spider-Man characters are basically Peter, Vulture, Aunt May, and sort of Liz.
But
I wish it was a give and take.
Yeah.
Like if we were gonna have Ned, then give us MJ. Mm-hmm. If we were gonna have Michelle, then give us Harry.
Yeah.
Just something like that.
Exactly.
But anyway, so want to move on to the story?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, so for me, that Washington Monument scene, just that whole field trip.
Yeah.
I really didn't. I don't like that part of the movie.
I don't know. Just that big chunk where he's like, I'm gonna leave New York and we're gonna go to Maryland. He's out of his element, and I get it. I appreciate them trying to do something different than what we've seen, but I'd rather see something different in the second movie.
Yeah.
I'd rather see this Spider-Man in this first version that we see him. I'd rather see him in his element and in a thing with skyscrapers where he can swing around, as opposed to DC where
he's just basically running the entire time. Yeah. He's going from car to car.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is what is the appeal of, let's have a giant set piece and action sequence in the Washington Monument.
Yeah, the Washington Monument, it's like there's nothing around it.
Yeah.
It's just a big jump. It's a big pillar in the
sky.
For
almost any other superhero, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
Like Iron Man would be pretty cool. Yeah. But Spider-Man, a character who, has to swing around from building to building. It doesn't make sense to me. And another part of the movie that I really, really don't like is, and it goes along with the AI that he gets in the movie, is when he's stuck in the warehouse with Karen.
Yeah.
It's just so unnecessary for me.
It's so slow. It's so
it bogs the movie down for me.
It just seems like an explanation for them to for him to learn how to use his new stuff.
Exactly.
Because
that's all it exists for.
Because people are gonna be like, how does he know how to do all this stuff? But he does the training thing, so he knows now.
And it just bothers me that that's like basically what that scene is there for.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, maybe they were just like, oh, he needs to go to Washington because that's where Danger Squad happens to be. And I mean, shit, come on, why couldn't they just have a warehouse in New York? You know what I mean? A huge battle happened in New York, so why wouldn't they have like a depot that's close enough for them? But I just don't understand why Toombs' little deal was going to happen in Washington. I don't know why this field trip was happening in Washington. I don't know. I just don't know why.
Why not? It seems pointless when they could have made it a bit smaller scope.
Yeah.
Instead of taking place over like 3 different states.
For a movie that's supposed to feel small, like maybe the appeal was, oh, let's do a field trip. Yeah. And that's cool, but why not a field trip into the Big Apple, into Manhattan, especially to where he's growing into, where he is going to become Spider-Man of not Brooklyn, but of New York. Yeah. You know? I feel like that would have been a little bit more necessary. Like have it at the Empire State Building or something like that. That would be cool. Yeah. You know, that would make sense. Yeah. He's out of his element, but, you know, we as the audience know that eventually he will grow into it, like the previous films. Yeah. And I think that'd be cool. And guess what? We get some swinging through the city scenes. Yeah. Like
I heard somebody argue that we don't get a swinging in Manhattan scene because we're gonna earn it for the next movie. Right. But it's like it just makes it's like an IOU. It's like, oh, stick around for the next movie because then you'll get what you want. Why can't I get what I want now? Yeah. Why can't I get the fun Spider-Man swinging sequence now in what people are calling the best Spider-Man movie ever? Yeah. If you're gonna make a Spider-Man his homecoming and you want to make this definitive, why make all these weird changes and why try to be so different and so weird?
It's like having an entire Batman movie without Batman actually having the Bat logo on the front. Like maybe it was just the combat armor. Yeah. He had the cowl, he had the cape, but he didn't have the symbol on the front. And then they're just like, oh well, it's building up to that. You know, we're going to get it.
Or it's even like it's like an entire Batman video game where you don't have the Batmobile, but you have the Batwing. Yeah. Arkham Origins did that, by the way. That was a dig. I actually like Arkham Origins. But oh boy, look at you go. Yeah, I totally agree with the warehouse scene, and I like the idea of him slowing down and taking a moment to like talk about his issues because that's a very Spider-Man thing to do.
Yeah, you need a scene like that.
Yeah, but I think the best way that they could have done that without having like Karen, the annoying AI, which we'll talk about a bit later, without having that conversation, is we're introduced to him as a vlogger. He's taking like, hey guys, how's it going? Yo, it's your boy Spider-Man. Spider Boy 2016. Anyway, he's doing those kinds of things. He's like, there was so much fun. He's talking about it. Why not? And he finds out that his suit's always recording. Yeah. Why isn't he just like, I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna do this because I'm always recording. I'm always filming. Yeah. So I'm gonna do this on my own. I'm gonna do this myself, and that's how he does it. He doesn't have a conversation. Nobody tells him what to do. You don't have Karen.
It could be a scene just where he's laying on his bed, Aunt May's gone, and it's just a moment for Peter to kind of reflect on everything that's going on. And that's like a real high school kind of thing, you know? Where, you know, you get home from school and you're laying on your bed and you're just like, oh my God, what am I going to do with my life?
Yeah, and it's also him talking to himself, Spider-Man talking to himself, it's a Spider-Man thing. He swings around,
especially when he's swinging,
Yeah, and that's you can introduce that. So then later, and maybe in the next movie, when he's having like some serious issues with like a relationship or something, he just goes and he swings and he talks. Yeah,
and I kind of would appreciate that if Tom Holland not like talk to himself like he's crazy, but just
like he's filming.
He's talking out. He's thinking out loud. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's thinking out loud. Yeah. And I think that's a little bit more creative than, you know, creating an AI so he talks out loud so we know what's going on the entire time. I get the appeal to that.
Yeah, but it's the narrate, it's the thought bubbles. Yeah. But the thought bubbles work better when it's not a conversation. Yeah. You know?
Oh, hello. You're probably wondering, what happened to Troy? Why do I look a little different? Well, that's probably because I had to split this up into 2 parts. And maybe Troy's not here right now. There's an answer for everything. But I'm not going to give it to you. What I am going to tell you, though, is this is only part 1 of a 2-part review for Spider-Man Homecoming. I realized while recording it, we had so much to talk about. So why not make it into 2 parts? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I hope you'll enjoy the next video. So if you could just like, comment, subscribe, that'd help the channel out. And I'd appreciate it. But anyway, I'm gonna get back to reading this masterpiece.